Hello everybody, welcome back to another Richboywayne Reacts. And in this video, we're going to be reacting to the Legendary Wallstreetbets YOLOs. This is a video that I haven't seen yet, don't really know what to expect. But you know, we're going to be in for a treat. Because these videos are always funny as hell, and they're always hilarious. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Before we dive in though, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see future videos from me. But let's get into it. Here we go.
If you're a long-time member of Wall Street Bets like myself, your personal experience with YOLOs is most likely as such. Losing the entire position, or losing the entire position.
Yeah, that's my experience, losing the entire position.
From infinite money glitches to million-dollar option plays with mere days until expiration, I'll be the first to say that it's going to be difficult to place any of these legendary trades below S tier. Let's start this off right. Control the narrative. How did Control the Narrative become a Wall Street Bets legend? Simple. By exploiting a Robinhood glitch to YOLO $50,000.
He was the first.
Borrowed.
He was the first person to do that too, to exploit that glitch.
Money with no collateral. You heard me right. This legend used a goddamn Robinhood infinite money glitch to borrow $50,000 from Rob.
And by the way, he's the reason why they put that cation in Robinhood that you can't borrow against margin. It was actually him. He was the guy that caused that whole thing. There's a little bit of history.
Robinhood with only $2,000 in his account. After leveraging his account to meet his personal risk tolerance, Control the Narrative went on to engage in the most famous Wall Street Bets YOLO in history. He bought $50,000 in Apple puts just before they reported quarterly earnings. Unfortunately for Control the Narrative, Apple crushed their earnings and the stock rocketed up in after-hours trading. For our sake, at market open, this legend decided to record his loss live and capture this priceless moment.
My heart.
That's right, losing a quick $50,000 of borrowed money. If you listen,
I get heartburn just from watching that one. You know that feeling in your stomach that you get sometimes when you know something bad is going to happen? It's like a gut feeling. It's like somebody takes their fist, balls it up, and punches you as hard as you can in your stomach. That must be how that felt. It's literally somebody just going hard as they can. And you just stay there limped over like this. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I mean, there's literally nothing you can do about it. And you just sit there and watch. Watch all your evaporate into thin air.
listen very carefully. You can even hear the exact moment that the soul exits the husk. The legend of Control the Narrative is, of course, an undisputed S tier.
Yep.
There is nowhere else on the internet where you can watch stuff like this unfold. Pioneers like Control the Narrative willing to risk everything to entertain us and for a shot at a better life. And for that, Control the Narrative takes his spot with the...
So the legend here, I mean the, hold on, my camera is messing up here on me. Okay. I guess the moral of the story here is don't borrow on margin. Margin is something you don't want to do, you don't want to screw with, if at all possible. And I know it seems like it's leverage, and it is, but it's something you don't want to screw with if you don't know what you're doing. And even if you do know what you're doing, you still don't want to screw with it. It's not something you want to play around with. So.
Legends on the S tier. If I was hacked, though the GameStop fiasco might have you believe that the Wall Street Bets boys are righteous warriors looking to take down the evil short sellers betting against the economy, you could not be more wrong. If you were on Wall Street Bets during the beginning of Corona, you know that there was no lack of degenerates making blood money hand over fist as 401ks evaporated.
Everybody's an expert in bull market. It's when the bear market comes that everybody all of a sudden becomes some kind of skeptic or some crap like that. But look, you gotta take into consideration a lot of different factors when you're trading. And one of the factors you have to take into consideration is that the market can turn around at a moment's notice. So you really gotta hedge against that. And if you don't have any kind of systems in place, if you don't have any kind of protocols, you don't have stops set up, you don't have limits set up, you know, you're gonna get crushed. And these guys obviously got crushed.
Businesses collapsed, and people waited in the bread lines. One specifically retarded trader known as If I Was Hayek saw the impending crisis before anyone else could. Expecting the downfall of cruises and theme parks, this lucky degenerate dropped $150,000 into puts on Disney and Carnival. Within days of the bat virus beginning to ravage the United States...
See, he was too late, though. You gotta be ahead of the curve. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of these guys, as you're gonna see in this video, probably, they were behind the curve. Be ahead of that stuff. If you're gonna do something like this, okay, and let's say, for example, let's take the airlines, for example. Everybody knows the airlines was going down in spring of 2020. But if you were smart, you would have realized that, hey, look, they're down, but they're going to go back up because travel is going to resume, right? Later on in the year, possibly. So the smart thing would be not to short the airlines. It would be to buy call options or leaps and go long on the airlines. You got to stay ahead of the curve. That's what I'm trying to say. Stay ahead of the curve.
If I was Hayek's initial investment rocketed to over $4 million, with that kind of money, he could have taken the counter's way out, investing in an S&P
That's what I would have did.
fund and collecting an easy
I would have quit.
$200,000 per year. However, if I was Hayek, was far from satisfied, holding his puts with diamond hands. You can probably guess where this story
Yeah, I know.
In just a month, stimulus packages, PPP loans, and Jerome Powell's money printer destroyed all of his puts, leaving him with $20,000 like Satan's erection. Truly, despite being a very moving story, if I was Hayek's incredible backstory of some of the other YOLOs on this list. And for that,
Dude had $2 million or $4 million? I think it was $2 million. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, $4 million. He had $4 million. He could have quit. You could have quit, bruh. Put down the controller. The game was over. You beat the game. I can't really talk because I had 8,000 that I had made in the stock market. I didn't quit. But when you get ahead, there's a certain point in which you gotta quit. You know, 10,000, 100,000. Okay, fine. 4 million, dude. It's time to put down the controller. You beat the game. The game is over with. Put down the controller. Go ahead and cash out. Retire, and set aside your money for future generation. I don't know. I don't know how dude can live with himself. I hope he's all right. I hope he didn't take the black pill, unalive himself. I hope he's still around, and he learned a very, very, very valuable lesson. I hope. Hope that you guys in this video are learning a valuable lesson. You gotta know when to quit. You gotta know when to quit. I didn't know when to quit. He didn't know when to quit. So I'm telling you, this is a lesson to everybody out there. You gotta know when to quit. And when you reach that number, whatever that number is for you, that's when you quit. But he didn't have a plan. And when you don't have a plan, then that's when you lose. So you gotta have a plan. You gotta know when to quit. And when you hit your mark, that's it. Log off. Put the controller down. The game is over.
I think this trade wins itself a place right in the C tier. Anal Farmer 2. Icarus was so intoxicated by the experience of flight that he flew too close to the sun, his wings melting as he fell into the sea and drowned. Except for Anal Farmer. Those wings were risky out of the money.
These names, I'm telling you.
Until expiration. Anal Farmer, a mere 19-year-old at the time with $110,000 in his Robinhood account.
Oh my
online
goodness.
business.
Let me guess. He maxed out his emptied out his 401k, excuse me. And he probably borrowed against some other house or some other something.
Decided to YOLO all $110,000.
No, I think you said he owned the online business. I'm willing to bet it's probably porn. It was porn, let's just be honest. That's what it was.
19-year-old at the time with $110,000 in his Robinhood account from online business.
Yeah,
Decided
online
to
business,
YOLO
okay.
all $110,000 on Align Technology call options with merely days until expiration. By some miracle, the next day Align announced accelerated stock buybacks leading
To
the
the
share
moon.
price to rocket upwards. In 24 hours, Anal Farmer more than doubled his portfolio,
Dang.
making $180,000 and bringing his Robinhood balance to over $340,000 in total. Thinking logically, recognizing his insane luck, and looking
I know how
from
this is gonna
outside
end.
perspective, Anal Farmer realized he couldn't be satisfied.
I know how this is
with
gonna
almost
end. Oh my
$500,000
goodness,
in
no.
19,
Don't
so
do
he
it.
made a very wise decision to drop $170,000
Don't do it.
into SPY puts
No.
the next day.
No.
Another stroke of insane luck. The next day, Mango Man and new tariffs which tanked the entire market. While most traders were considering going long rope, Anal Farmer was sitting on a $277,000 gain, bringing his total portfolio value to $646,000 at just 19 years old. Intoxicated by the prospect of that $1 million,
know where this is gonna go.
Anal Farmer let emotions cloud his judgment. Shortly after making more than $500,000 in less than a week, he decided to YOLO $700,000.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
For some of you newcomers,
no, don't do it, dude.
Like incomprehensibly
that is stupid.
Retarded. That means every second the share price is below your strike price, you're literally burning money. And his money did burn. $500,000, in fact, leaving him with $200,000 to lose. And over the next few weeks, he did lose. Approximately $160,000.
F's in the chat for his portfolio. F's in the chat.
With just around $40,000. At this point, down from his high of $750,000, Anal Farmer was left with only 50% of his initial investment. Would that stop him? Of course not. Anal Farmer had developed a plan to regrow his wealth more stably and conservatively that was destined to succeed.
Just cash out, my dude. Cash out.
To YOLO the remaining 40,000 call options for a wheat stock right before earnings. As you could probably predict, he lost everything. Anal Farmer's YOLO represents a great, wholesome Wall Street Bets YOLO. While the story may not be as remarkable as Control the Narrative or some of the other competitors on this list, it's a beautiful YOLO, and we can't help but tip our hats to Anal Farmer and pray that he didn't commit suicide after going dark on Reddit. WSB God. In April of 2019, this diamond-handed degenerate bought $26,000 worth of Tesla 450 Leap call options expiring in 2021. To some of the newcomers, that may not seem completely insane.
That is actually a very good strategy.
Around $50 per share. By August, WSB God was down 60% on his position. After losing over $10,000, he did what anyone would do if they were mentally slow. He doubled down on his position and held the line. In WSB God's case, he was rewarded. As Tesla mooned through the winter, his initial $40,000 investment grew to over $1.3 million.
Damn.
But of course, that wasn't enough. In January, WSB got $120,000 in Tesla calls at the $1,000 strike, expiring in just 2 months. They called him a madman, another delusional autist caught up in the rush of quick gains. What happened? Tesla rocketed to over $900 per share in the next month, bringing WSB God's portfolio value to almost $4.5 million from an initial $40,000 investment. There was some speculation as to whether or not WSB God faked his gains in an attempt to uphold his reputation as the god of Wall Street bets. And for that unfortunate reason, we simply can't.
I think he cashed out.
Amongst the true legends.
It was a real story. He cashed out. He cashed out. He did what we should have did.
Has the power to call his print. It's Elon Musk.
He was a good dude.
After maxing out 2 credit cards and a home equity line of credit, Degula planned to sit back with $90,000 in Tesla calls and let Elon blast.
I think I've heard this story before. So, dude apparently has a YouTube channel too, which I don't know the name of it. So, if you know the name of his YouTube channel, go ahead and post it in the comment section. Because I think he does. He is on YouTube, and I just don't know the name of his channel. But shout out to him.
Valhalla during the Cybertruck reveal. Except that didn't happen. On Cybertruck launch day, Tesla stock dropped 4% after hours. The next day, our hero Degula decided to live stream the market open to assess the damage. As you can see, he lost almost all of his money, most of which was borrowed from high interest rates.
61,000.
Less than a month after the Cybertruck play, Degula's portfolio was down to less than $30,000, and he was fired from his job. Realizing he needed a more secure job that would give him consistent, worry-free W-2 income he could count on, Degula decided to disregard all of that and start day trading options professionally. In December, Degula put his faith in Elon once again, dropping 80% of his portfolio into Tesla 400 calls expiring in March. In just 1 week, Degula made over $80,000 as
Hopefully he cashed out.
In the end, Degula was able to cash out over $200,000 in profits, as well as his Model 3 before quitting day trading for good. A heartwarming story that taught us an important lesson. After losing a lot,
he knew when to quit. See, some of y'all don't know when to quit. That's your problem. That's your problem.
YOLO options professionally to make it all back. Many members of Wall Street Bets have taken to heart. For a few of them, it's worked kind of. Dejula, you win your place in the B tier. There are very few members of Wall Street Bets that are so autistic they force Robinhood to completely change their platform. Irony Man, however, was one. In pursuit of a risk-free arbitrage opportunity, this legend was attempting to trade box spreads. If you don't understand how box spreads work, don't worry, Irony Man didn't know either. All you need to know is that it's what led him to lose over 2,000% of his initial investment. It's also what made Robinhood disable his account and permanently ban box spreads from the platform entirely. This degenerate lost almost 20 times what he initially invested, resulting in this beautiful screenshot and this incredible message from the Robinhood team. It takes a unique trader to lose 20 times their initial investment, change an entire brokerage platform, and get a Robinhood account disabled. Irony Man will forever go down as a legend in Wall Street Bets history, and for that, he takes his place in the S tier. Deep fucking value. How could we possibly make a tier list for Legendary Wall Street Bets YOLOs without including the fabled deep fucking value?
The legend himself.
The YOLO to end all YOLOs. The YOLO that made both Ted Cruz and AOC act like they care about hedge funds screwing retail investors over. A truly iconic moment in Wall Street Bets history. For deep fucking value, his trade began the way most great trades do on Wall Street Bets. The perfect combination of Adderall and testosterone-fueled greed. He invested $50,000 into GameStop elite call options as the stock tanked to its lowest level in history. With diamond hands, words like cash flow and bankruptcy just could not shake this stubborn degenerate, despite many other Wall Street Bets members calling him crazy and retarded. Crazy retard. Deep fucking value held the line like no other than Michael Burry himself. Fast forward to a few years ago. GameStop started to gain some momentum. New spikes in online sales and strategic partnerships with Microsoft began to drive the share price up. That's when a new theory emerged on Wall Street Bets. One that would revolutionize the GameStop option play. The fabled short squeeze. The idea that when a stock has a high enough short ratio, a rapid upward pressure in share price would cause short sellers to buy back into their positions, causing the price to go up, causing more short sellers to buy back, causing the price to go up, and ultimately causing a chain reaction of complete and utter degeneracy. GameStop's rally to 400 brought deep fucking value's initial $50,000 investment to over $40 million. Now this story isn't over yet. We've seen many great legends let their pride become their downfall. Take Emil Farm, whose intoxication with the prospect of $1 million blinded him to the fact that he was a complete retard trading options on Robinhood. However, regardless of what happens to Deep fucking Value's portfolio when this is all over, he has absolutely earned his place among Wall Street Bets legends in the S tier. Each one of these YOLOs has molded Wall Street Bets into the flourishing, vibrant place it is now. To each and every one of the legends on this list, I commend thee, and to the degenerates watching this video giddy with Robinhood in hand, I wish you nothing but green accounts and one-way rockets to the moon. If you're a long time...
So the thing about this, I guess the lesson here that I want to talk about, that we saw, that's kind of a reoccurring thing, right? People not having any kind of strategy, it seems like, except for Deep effing Value, which I'm not going to say, you know what I'm talking about. He had a strategy. Some of these guys, well, most of these guys, did not have a strategy at all. Their strategy was to do some kind of YOLO, and hopefully wherever it would go. And then when they made money, they didn't have any kind of exit strategy, so they kind of were hoping that it would continuously go whichever way it was going to go. And then when it didn't, I don't know what they thought they were going to do. But the lesson here is to have a strategy, any strategy. A good strategy would be to look at what you're trying to make. What percentage of a return are you trying to make? And then once you make that, to exit. I think the hardest thing about being a trader is determining your profit and what you're willing to walk away with and not feel like you're leaving money on the table. For me, apparently, it wasn't 8,000. For me, it was probably 10,000. Which that didn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just using the number for example. For these guys, apparently, $1 million wasn't enough for some of them. So the lesson here is to have a strategy. If you don't know of the strategy, don't have any idea of what kind of strategy you can use, go online, do a little bit of research. Go to investopedia.com and look up and read a few articles. I hate to see people losing money, but most of these guys are young and they'll make it back. They can make it back. But it just hurts. It hurts to see people lose money like that. And I hope that if you guys watch my channel, that you make money, and to like and subscribe so you can see future videos from me, and you can learn what not to do by watching videos like this. So, as always, stay up, stay positive, and I'll see you guys in the next video.